Good morning, my fellow weirdos and wildlings, seekers, and curiosity peoples. It is I, Vi, the Abysmal Witch, coming to you with my abysmal perspective on this very bright, very sunny, still quite early, I think it's a Wednesday morning, on the unceded ancestral and traditional territories of the Coast Salish peoples. Since I am driving, I am traveling through multiple nations. I started with Kakite, I will land in Musqueam, and I'm not actually entirely sure all that I may travel across in between, which is interesting. If you're ever curious about what lands you live on, if you're in British Columbia, there is a map that is available online that will geographically place you within your which tribes lived where, and live. I shouldn't say lived, past tense, good God. We are blessedly not actually responsible for complete and utter genocide, just severe cultural genocide and a decent amount of genocide. We just didn't finish it. Sad truce. Truth should not be avoided, but recognized so that we can do something to balance our line's existence in the world. Oh yeah, baby. I am in zone today. It is a different kind of zone. We'll see where we land. You may want to check out, maybe, possibly, maybe not, the companion episode on a witch's perspective, because this is an abysmal perspective. So this is me getting witchy in my witchy perspective. The witch's perspective, I was talking about the good witch, bad witch question, which if you've been practicing witch for any length of time, or maybe it's just those of us who are practicing, 15 to 30 years ago would get the question a lot, because I feel like I haven't gotten it recently, but again, I don't get out much, so maybe it is still a thing. But I was talking about that over there, and what does that mean, and was having some fun thoughts with it. And this episode, this abysmal perspective, is going to be exploring that a little deeper and a little more specifically with a favorite line of mine that I have created, which incorporates a lot of my thinking on this. Even though I had to get a little bendy with one of the words, using it in not its most precise definition, because rhyming, if it's gonna rhyme, it's just more fun. And my phrase that I shall be exploring with you today is hex or charm to heal or harm. That's right, hex or charm to heal or harm. All of those having very specific meanings in this particular thing, and also relationally with each other within the phrase. Today, I want to focus on the hex or charm part rather than the heal or harm. We're going to pop that one over. So hex or charm, because I want to play a little with definitions here and bring some perspective to how I hold things like hexing, cursing, etc., which is going to be a little different, or a lot different, from both the kind of cultural norms that exist in the North American zeitgeist and also the pagan norms, I would suspect. Again, maybe check out that other episode, because I got into the whole rant on, well, not a rant is too emotional, a whole exploration on good versus bad, and how that is not the perspective I hold. I hold a perspective of bright and dark, that all things are needed in their appropriate balance, there are shadow sides to things and where things go wrong, but it's not a one side is good and the other side is bad. I don't place that judgment in that way, in those places. So with hex or charm, I'm not going, oh my God, hexing bad, never hex. And to some degree, I still have a pretty strong Anit harm none traveling through my soul in that sense. So Wiccan, right? Anit harm none, but it's impossible to harm none depending on how you define harm. I guess I might touch into that a little bit. I still want to leave the definitions of harm for later, but just acknowledging that plays into this, because it is a very interwoven statement. I can't think of the right word for it. Anyway, hex or charm. Hexing, in my worldview, at this point in time, which has taken, I've held this view for quite some years at this point, and always leave room for my perspective to shift again. I think this one's pretty steady Freddy at this point. That hexing, cursing are entanglements. Now, they disrupt the flow. They disrupt the order. They stop the flow. They cease things to be. That's it. That's all a hex or a curse is. It's an entanglement, right? Because think about, what would you think of as, I cursed their soul into the horrible abyss. Well, you're taking their soul from what is the natural trajectory and setting it on a different course. You are disrupting its natural pattern. If you are trying to make somebody miserable, you are trying to encourage disruptions to their best pattern, right? You are trying to entangle them into something they did not plan for, act for, or create on their own. Now, some people it's really easy because they're doing it to themselves, so it doesn't take a lot. Some people much harder. There is, stopping there, flip into charm for a moment. So on the charm side, what have we got? Well, this is where I'm playing a little bit with the word, because charms, teeny little side dip, shall we? Talismans and amulets. What was it? Talismans ward things off, amulets draw things to you. See, this is where other people have so much more solid historical knowledge than I do. I've seen or listened to things from Jason Miller, Sorcery of Hecate, and Ivo Domingo Jr., who runs online classes periodically. So worth taking. So much history and information there. So good. And both of them just have like this encyclopedia retention of details and history and information that's just like, I have a lot of info in my head, but I do not have that level of clarity and certainty of the information in my head, which is why I'm like, I think, you're not? I don't know. I think that it was talismans ward things off, amulets draw things to you. Charms, to be charmed was to have, it's to be, actually, the more I talk about this, maybe charm is a good word. Charmed, blessed are good words to go together. If you're charmed, like the TV series, something unusual and magical has happened to you that is positive. I guess we could add that to the hex definition, right? That we're doing something that is magical, that is entangling them. But on the blessing or charm side, because a blessing, a charm, blessings are opposite of curses, but not being of a Judeo-Christian bent in any way, shape, or form, or history, the word, like we use blessed be in Wiccan life a whole heck of a lot, but giving someone blessings, I'm a little cautious around the word and how I feel about it, and I don't like to add additional entanglements to phrases that I use that support my working or concepts, etc., that would cause any potential additional confusion. And again, charm rhymes, but you could call it a blessing, a curse and a bless, a hex and a charm. Essentially, I like hex and charm. It's way witchier. Let's face it. I love me some witchy times, like all the time. I have multiple witch hats. I wear my witch hat regularly. Well, some of them. I have two that are woolen, and you can get them online, and they're knitted wool, and they have like a flexi brim, and they come in different colors, and they're just like, they got a bit of that breathing, which is nice for the summer. They've got the wool, so it's good in pretty decent in the rain and in the winter for the heat part. A little warm in the summer, but tell me a hat that isn't. But a great brim to keep both the rain out, but also the sun out, and you can adjust it. Oh my God, love that hat. It's so good. I love my witchy side. I have more than one actual cauldron. I have actually a couple 100-year-old cauldron. Super cool. Love it. I love my witchy side. So I hex and charm rather than curse and bless. Curse and bless, to me, has some potential Judeo-Christian overtones. So anyhow, coming back, maybe charm's a good word after all. Charms are positive influences. They are things that make your world go smoothly. One could say they disentangle you from difficulties and problems. They don't stir you into them, they free you from them. We tend to focus on it as either having more problems or less problems because as humans, we are designed to focus on the negative. It's kind of a problem for, our health and long-termness, but there were reasons as we were evolving as to why that was the case. So here we are, predisposed to notice all the negative. But we can also tangle things into being a better situation and untangle and make things worse, right? So with a cancer growing, you want to hex the shit out of that. You want to tangle it up. You want to bind it. You want to make it so it cannot keep growing, right? You don't want to charm it. You don't want to be like, oh yeah, you're awesome, spread through the whole body. No, that would be bad. Now let's see on the charm side, if you're smoothing things out. Sorry, I'm a little caught into an example. It's a little too close to home. I don't think it's a good example, but if someone is being an asshat, then charming it so that they become even more so is not really a good thing. Is not nearly as good an example. Actually, I guess the charming cancer would be bad. You want to hex it. So what do we want to hex that we would normally charm? I can't. I'm sorry. My brain has skipped and jumped way the fuck away from trying to figure out which example direction I was going and what would give another example for the other side. But the point is, and I said this in the other episode too, that hexing and charming are not inherently good or bad. I was talking about white and black viewpoints, and that the bright and the dark are not inherently good or bad. This is why it's hex or charm to heal or harm, because you can hex or charm to heal, and you can hex or charm to harm. They're just, are you entangling a thing or disentangling something and making it easier? Are you making it harder? Are you making it easier? Are you smoothing the way, or are you roughing it up? Roof. That's it. That's all it is to hex or charm. And it opens up all of the possibilities, because it's not about whether or not it's not I am cursing them because they are horrible people and retribution must follow. It's, there is need. You could do that. I wouldn't. I'm disinclined to put, what we do puts that, when we do things of that nature and put that energy out to the world, we attracts like. So such things will tend to come hunting you down. It's not, or not hunting you down, but they will be attracted, and your own life can get problematic. And I mean, this whole, definitely a whole nother day in discussion. So let's not do that one right now. Instead, I think I'm actually just going to wrap it up. Leave you with those ideas. See where you fall with them. Does that Does that make sense to you? How does it feel to move from cursing and blessing to hexing and charming, and to an idea that a hex or a charm, sure, which one? Which one makes sense in these circumstances? What am I doing with it? What purpose does it serve? And really just deciding what you're working on from there. All right, my fellow weirdos and wild ones, much love, much appreciation. If you've made it this far, you shock me, quite honestly. Go send this out into the world, if you will. If you think that what I'm sharing is worth for other people to hear, you know, you could do that like button thing and the subscribe thing, and you know, I don't know, or not. Does it matter? I'm not sure. You do you. You do you. Meanwhile, blessings of the weird and the wild and the hexed and the charmed unto you. Bless be.